Welcome to Lost Girl Therapy. Sometimes I forget that I had an entirely different life before I became an intuitive healer and a therapist. I worked in corporate project management, and I was just looking back on photos of who I was back then before everything in life started to shift. It kind of fell apart to fall together. And when I look back at photos of myself, what I see is somebody who was soulless, who didn't have any concept of self. I was so unhappy, so burnt out. My nervous system was essentially like stressed to the max. And I felt like I needed to stay on that path. I felt like I needed to somehow stay in that space because I owed it to someone, which could not have been further from the truth. I stayed on that path because I was afraid of what all the other paths could or would hold. And when the universe kind of started essentially taking apart my entire life in order for me to become who I am today, I fought it really hard. None of that like losing sensation felt good. I know I talk a lot about like letting stuff go and letting it be, but I will tell you that when it happened to me the first time, I didn't have that sensation. I literally was like, I am going to hold on to this for dear life, and it would need to be ripped from my hands before I let it go. And all I did was put off the inevitable because I was going to turn into this version of me no matter what. It didn't matter how much effort I put into suppressing this version of me. It was going to come to fruition. It was just a matter of when and how long it would take me to see it come to fruition in its fullest form. And I'm sitting here on a random Tuesday reflecting about how much I have been through to get to where I am. And if there's one thing that I could say to anybody who is really struggling with letting go or not able to kind of move through life because you're not sure what it's going to look like on the other side, use me as an example. I can tell you that I am so much happier, so much healthier, so much more grounded in who I am, simply because my life fell apart to fall together. And if you had asked me 5, 6, 7 years ago if I thought my life would look like this, the answer would be a hard no. I never thought I would be a therapist. I never thought I would be an intuitive healer. I certainly didn't think that I would have psychic abilities. None of this stuff would come to fruition, but all of it makes sense because hindsight is 20/20. And I'm so happy with who I am now. And I wish that everyone could experience what's on the other side of change. And I know that you can't do that without going through it, but if you need the reminder that going through to the other side pays off, let me be that for you. It pays off. Today is a beautiful day. I've never been more content or at peace or felt more like myself. And that is a sensation that I would not trade for the world.